For over 5 days in Toronto, thousands and thousands of flower and gardening enthusiasts got an early taste of spring. Call to Recycle's The Defining Moment.ca crew was also there to capture some great personal moments from you.
My name is Colette Murphy and I'm from Urban Harvest in Toronto. I will talk about my defining moment in my business. And I started out teaching gardening, and I was teaching an urban agriculture workshop, which I think is a really important thing for our future, at a nonprofit organization in the city, and they had just built a greenhouse on their roof. And I had been talking about rooftop gardening for a very long time. They had literally finished the greenhouse the day before. And I looked up at it and said, I wish I had a greenhouse to grow my plants, and they said, have this one. It was a defining moment in that it really changed the course of my career life, because I never intended to be growing seeds and plants as a business.
My name is Warren Duffy. I'm from Brampton. I have a good friend now. Not just a wife, but a good friend. And we do everything together, and we want to do everything together. It was not like that prior to that. My life became completely different, much more fulfilled, happy. I raised 4 children, but I didn't really have a happy life at that time. I went through from day to day, an engineer by education, worked with computers all my career, and that part I liked, but I just wasn't being fulfilled or satisfied in my environment.
My name's Carrie. I'm from Niagara Falls, Ontario. A definite defining moment in my life was the day I got the call to go to work in Japan. It was 1996, and I'm sure if I hadn't done that, my life would be completely different. It was amazing. I met incredible people, I made connections with people all over the world, and I got to come home and share that with people here, which is right now really important to me. I continue to travel, but not worldwide. I think it's really important as a Canadian for me to be in Canada right now. And I really enjoy my country because I've seen other countries.
Yeah, I'm Lloyd. I'm from Quinte area. I think a tour back in 1962. I was with the military, and I was assigned to the UN operations in Belgium, Congo during the uprising. It gives you a very different outlook on all different nationalities and poverty. I mean, it is unbelievable the way they live over there, and the atrocities that went on at the time. It was tribal. I believe I looked at most people on a different plateau. You have to accept people for the way they are. Don't try and change them. In Africa, we accepted the people, and in turn, they accepted us. And we had no problems whatsoever. We were very well respected over there just for that purpose.
My name is Lisa Napper. I'm from Bowmanville, Ontario. One of the most defining parts of my life was when my daughter was born. Everything up to that point was stemming from school, to building a career, to buying a house, to getting married. And once she was born, my life became a mixture with her life. And it's just been quite a roller coaster effect ever since then. For me, I chose to have children later on in life. And if I had to do it again, I think I would have started a little earlier. I was 31 when I started. It's finding that balance. It's finding that comfort zone where you can still feel comfortable knowing you have your career, but knowing full well that I'm able to say, okay, I'm going to turn it off, I'm going to go home, and I'm going to be with my family now.
My name is Sheila Hirsch Ham. I come from Niagara-on-the-Lake. I've lived there for 10 years. But previous to that, I lived in Toronto, Newmarket, the Bruce Peninsula. Before that, I come from Scotland. I'm 75 this year, so one acquires a lot of special moments. And defining, I don't think there's ever a true defining moment, because you're suddenly into something that's defined for you. What you have to do is pick it up and run with it, no matter what it is, and get on with it. You know, I have cancer. There's a whole lot of other people worse off than I am with cancer. I'm lucky I'm still hanging in here. Attitude is 99%. you are touched by cancer in some way, always, because some member of your family, your friends, your neighbors, whatever it is. And that's one of the reasons that my big defining moment is I got involved in Daffodil Gardens of Hope for the Canadian Cancer Society.
My name is Bruce Zimmerman. I'm from St. Catharines. Defining moments, I think I've had several. The first one that I remember, I was only 6 years old. At that age, I already had my own vegetable garden. And on the Saturday morning next door, the neighbor moved in that day before, and I decided at 7 o'clock in the morning to go and visit, bang on the door, and give him vegetables from my garden. Well, you know, most people like to sleep in on Saturdays, and we've been, after that, great friends ever since. He later went on to become the Attorney General of Ontario, and his wife at the time is now my stepmother. So that vegetable sort of brought us together and started that whole chain of events when I was only 6 years old. So those are, I think, are really defining moments that I have experienced and believe in and have focused, I think, in some ways, my life around.
My name is Marie Embry, and I live in New Glasgow, Nova Scotia. The momentous occasion was the birth of my first grandchild, Jennifer. She was a preemie, weighing 4 pounds, and she had to stay in the hospital for a month. And when she came home, she was just a little tiny baby. Now she's 20 years old. It meant a great deal because Jennifer was born with a partial left arm, and she has been excellent and done fabulously with this arm.
My name's Sarah Law, and originally from Port Colborne, Ontario. Really, really small town off of Lake Erie. Probably a few years ago when I was able, luckily enough, with 26 other students, working with the Fleming College and the Sustainable Building Program, and we were able to build the Camp Kawartha Environment Center. And that place just, it was an awesome, awesome experience. We were there for 6 months. We built one of the most sustainable buildings in Canada, and at that moment I really realized what was available for green building. It wasn't just like this hippie concept, you know, that only a few people are able to do. That whole summer kind of changed my whole perspective on things, and I met a whole bunch of awesome people. And at that moment I really realized I wanted to be in building. I didn't know where exactly I would fit, but I really wanted to be in building.
I'm Sal Badali. I live in Mississauga. I remember the first time that I went to Europe in 1976, that I was 24 years old, and I was on my own for 3 months, and it was just so interesting to see different cultures and meet different people. And as parents, my wife and I we're both teachers, and so we've traveled with our kids every summer because we had the summers off. So we had a camper trailer and a pop-up trailer, and we took the kids to Western Canada and Eastern Canada and throughout the United States, and we've taken them to Europe a couple of times. So I guess when you go somewhere else, you can't help but compare a little bit as to how people live and what we have here, and I'm convinced this is a wonderful place to live, and maybe the best place for me anyways.
My name is Kathy O'Shea, and I live in Orangeville. It would be more like a defining 2 weeks. I went on a canoe trip down the Albany River to James Bay, and then down James Bay to Moosonee, and just saw the beautiful world that we live in and how lucky we are to have it. And there was nobody else there except the group of us, and it was absolutely amazing, and definitely want to look after it more when you see what it should be like. We knew each other, had known each other for many years already, but we had nobody else to depend on other than each other. And we had to find the strengths and the weaknesses in each other and help each other along. And we still are in contact with each other, and that's many years ago.
Thanks to Call to Recycle and all those who took the time to share their defining moments with us. TheDefiningMoment.ca is brought to you by Call to Recycle, recharging the planet, recycling your batteries. Do you have a defining moment? Log on to TheDefiningMoment.ca and share it with us.